In life, it's not always easy to see progress every day, but think that if you made just 1% progress every day, you'd reach a new peak after 365 days. That's a miraculous change, 37 times greater than now. On the other hand, every step backward is like slowly falling into the abyss of mediocrity and stagnation. But even in that bleak picture, just one small change or good habit can set off a powerful domino effect that's like a snowball rolling bigger and bigger, propelling you toward unplanned success and prosperity. You can completely use that magic to change your financial situation. Imagine, no longer do you have to worry about money. If you don't let negative thoughts hold you back, you can build financial freedom, inner happiness, and deep joy every day. This may seem like a far-off dream, but it's actually very possible. Today we will look at 10 core principles in Stoic philosophy that will help you break free from mundane thought loops. But before we start, I have a small challenge for you. Watch this video all the way through and don't miss a single principle. In the world we live in, money isn't just a way to survive. It's also the key to freedom and opportunity. But we often forget or refuse to properly manage our personal finances. This is a common mistake, and one of the habits that keeps us mentally and financially poor forever. Number 1, stop ignoring your finances. Marcus Aurelius, who was Emperor of Rome and a great philosopher, said that wealth is not in how much gold and silver you have, but in how much self-control and happiness you have. But how do we know what is enough? Stoic lessons say that we should always think about what we need instead of what we want. This helps us remember that every action we take, like buying something or investing money, shows not only how much we value money, but also our morals. This sets a high bar for how we handle our personal money. It's not just about managing money and things, it's also about improving yourself and growing as a person. If we don't do personal finance management, we miss out on golden chances to make our financial lives better, and on the chance to grow as people and become stronger and more independent to deal with life's challenges. Stoic philosophy also stresses that managing personal finances is both an art and a science. It's a process that needs discipline, awareness, and a long-term view. By applying these ideas to our financial management, we not only improve our financial skills, but we also become more resilient and able to handle life's challenges on our own. To get out of the trap of perpetual poverty, we need to do more than just get material comfort. We need to find greater meaning and happiness in life. First, let's think about how we spend our money again. Ask yourself, is this purchase really important, or is it just a quick fix for a short-term feeling? Stoic philosophy isn't about denying reality. It's about living a meaningful life with purpose and self-control. If we take care of our money wisely, we not only give ourselves safety and security, but we also give ourselves the freedom to live a life in search of true value. Our world moves quickly, and it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day chaos. This leaves us with little time to think about our finances. But ignoring our funds can lead to bad things that affect not only our present situation, but also our safety in the future. We will talk about why it's important to stop ignoring our money problems and start taking steps to improve our financial health in this lesson. Figuring out what will happen. Debt buildup. Ignoring money matters can cause debt to build up, whether it's from overspending, taking out loans with high interest rates, or not paying bills on time. This debt can quickly get out of hand and be too much to handle. B. Not saving enough. If you don't pay attention to your money, it's hard to save for emergencies, retirement, or other goals in the future. This makes people subject to sudden changes in their finances and stops them from reaching their long-term goals. C. Stress and anxiety. Having money problems can cause stress, anxiety, and even mental health problems. Worrying about money all the time can hurt your relationships, your work, and your health in general. Taking charge. A. Face reality. The first step is to honestly look at your present financial situation without passing judgment on it. This includes looking at your income, spending, debts, and savings. B. Make clear goals. Write down both short and long-term money goals, like paying off debt, saving for retirement, or building up a backup fund. Clear goals give people direction and drive. C. Make a budget. Make a budget that is reasonable and fits your financial goals. Keeping track of your income and expenses helps you handle your money better and find ways to make things better. D. Lower your debt. Take steps to lower your debt, like paying off the amounts with the highest interest rates first, negotiating with your creditors, or, if you need to, getting professional help. E. Save money. Put aside a regular amount of your cash for long-term and emergency savings. Over time, even small donations add up and act as a safety net in case of unexpected costs. Educate yourself. Learn about money. Spend money on books, online tools, workshops, or courses that teach you about money. Understanding basic financial ideas gives people the power to make smart choices and get through complicated financial situations. B. Get professional help. If you're having big problems with money or making plans for complicated strategies, talking to financial experts or planners can help you understand your options and make the best decisions for you. Develop good money habits. A. Live within your means. Try to live below your means to avoid spending too much and getting into debt. Separate your needs from your wants and put your financial security ahead of spending money you don't need to. B. Review finances regularly. Set up regular reviews of your finances to keep track of your progress, change your goals, and make any changes to the budget or investment plans that are needed. C. Plan for the future. For long-term financial protection, think about putting money into retirement accounts, spreading out your investments, and making sure you have enough insurance. Not paying attention to money is like ignoring an important part of our lives that impacts every other part. We can lower our stress, reach our goals, and build a safe future by taking charge of our financial health. Let's stop putting off dealing with our money problems and start today. Number 2, don't connect having money with being happy. A lot of people think that happiness and wealth go hand in hand, while others say that happiness and fame and fortune go hand in hand. Many people may seem to think that happiness comes from external things, but in reality, happiness is created by every person. Every person's happiness comes from little things from within, as long as a life is led by the heart. Will everyone feel truly happy, but in the relentless pursuit of happiness, because many people unconsciously fall victim to the illusion that wealth is a necessity for true happiness? Through the long view of Stoicism, we are taught another truth. Happiness is not the product of material wealth, but the result of a peaceful spirit and a purposeful life. Let's take a look at Harry, the businessman who has achieved everything anyone could ever dream of. The big house is big in your cars and happy journeys around the world, but despite being surrounded by good things, Harry feels empty and lost in the middle of so many things, confused and directionless. But that's what Harry becomes when he discovers fortitude. Thanks to his fortitude, he became a beacon of light in the darkness of his life. Now that Harry knows he can't buy happiness or joy with money or things, he starts to look for happiness in easy things like inner peace, real bond, and special times with family. Through a difficult journey of self-discovery, slowly lessens his reliance on material things and turns his attention to more important things in life. He learns that true happiness isn't some faraway place, but a path of finding oneself, accepting what one has, and being thankful for it. Wealth may seem appealing, but it can't really compare to the value of peace of mind and inner contentment. Not only does Harry's story teach us how to be strong, but it also serves as a strong warning that money should not be linked to happiness. It is a message that frees us from the grip of materialism and leads to a life full of meaning, freedom, and true happiness. We just talked about principle number 2. This point of view may be hard for some, but it also lets us share and learn from each other, so we'd love to hear about your experiences and points of view. Please leave your comments below the video if you've ever found happiness in simple, non-material things. Every story and point of view is an inspiration and helps us build a strong community where we can learn from each other and grow together. What we do to fit in and be accepted is a normal part of life, but putting other people's needs before our own may put us in danger. Let's look at how we can liberate ourselves from the constraints of conformity and live the way we truly want to. Number 3. Stop living to make other people happy. The difficult path we walk on our journey to success often involves imposing ourselves on others every step of the way. Every decision seems to seek approval and approval from the eyes of society. But in the world of Stoicism, we know that life is not about trying to achieve something. Please others, no matter how hard we try to get positive or negative feedback, it will always be there. There are some in the family, and even those close to us, who are not happy with the way we choose in terms of criticism, and in order to please others who respect themselves and their values, many prejudices in life disappear, and they stop complying with standards. When we separate parts of our identity that do not belong to them but simply to conform to the wishes of others, this only leads to dissatisfaction and dissatisfaction. For example, a young person who loves art is forced by his family to study business administration for security reasons. While they are successful in business life, they feel chaos and emptiness inside because they do not follow their passions, but they want to be accepted and appreciated by life, even though they set limits for themselves and leave the real joy of life behind. The basic principle is to seek wealth and happiness and to give up life to please others. Stoic philosophy teaches us to achieve the true growth and happiness. We need to live as ourselves, not limited by what other people think, and not letting any problem be bigger than our own passion and values. Maybe you've been caught in a whirlwind of uncontrollable spending like I was. The initial joy of shopping turns into a burden when the bills start to pile up. I've been there, losing control over my spending beyond my means, but I've learned a valuable lesson. I need to stop, think, and live a more meaningful life by controlling myself. It sounds like you're saying that you need to put your own happiness and well-being first, instead of always trying to please other people. You should find a good mix between helping other people and taking care of yourself. You might want to take these steps. Reflecting on yourself. Take some time to think about what makes you truly happy and fulfilled. Think about your goals, values, and hobbies. Set limits. Make sure that your own wants are met by setting limits with other people. Learn how to say no when you need to and be clear about your limits. Care for yourself. Put care for yourself first in your life. This includes things like exercise, meditation, sports, and spending time with loved ones that are good for your mind, body, and soul. Assertiveness. Learn how to communicate assertively to politely state your needs and wants. This can keep you from getting angry or feeling like you're being used. Find help. Spend time with people who care about and support your health. This could be family, friends, or even a therapist or psychologist who can help and give you a different point of view. Don't forget that it's okay to put your own happiness and health first. Take care of yourself first, and you'll be better able to help and care for others eventually. Number 4, stop spending more than you have. There are times when you may feel like saving money is impossible. That's completely normal. Life requires bigger and bigger spending. But let's take a moment to think about the bills and daily costs we have. A recent study showed that Ireland is one of the most expensive places to live in Europe. This is in line with a general trend of rising living costs across the continent, which can make many people give up on their plans to save money. However, it's important to remember that everyone can learn how to save money. All they need to do is change how they manage their money and stop spending money on things they don't need. Good health. Realizing this is the first step to a healthier financial life. When we start living within our means, not only does our bank account become more stable, but it also improves our quality of life, happiness, and self-esteem. This doesn't mean giving up all of your fun spending or investing in yourself. It just means mastering personal finance and learning to make every penny count. If we adopt this philosophy, we will find that saving money is not only a possibility, but also a smart choice that brings peace and satisfaction to life. Inspire others. Can you share a story that changed you from this principle? Please leave a comment below. Number 5. Don't blame other people. Please don't put the blame on other people when you fail. You decide whether you succeed or fail in life. Don't let bad habits stop you from making changes. Time and time again, you put off ideas because you're afraid or because of other people. You shouldn't question yourself or refuse to take responsibility. If you keep living this way, don't ask yourself why your life is full of failures. You want to get up at 5 a.m. to have more time for important things. You also want to be the best at what you do, become a billionaire, and have a lot of success. But every time you have an idea, there's something inside you that keeps stopping you. Many times people tell you that you can't do something. You put off ideas out of fear or blame, but that's not the main reason why you fail. The problem is that you need to know yourself better. Deep down, you may be holding on to bad habits that keep you from reaching your goals and being successful. One of the great Roman rulers and Stoic philosopher, Marcus Aurelius, wrote in his Meditations to Change Your Experience that you should change your life. If you're upset about something outside of you, it's not the thing itself that makes you upset, it's your opinion of it, and you can get rid of that opinion right away. This supports the idea that power comes from realizing and accepting that we can't control everything outside of ourselves, but we can completely control how we feel and what we think about those things. Blaming others or situations is not only a sign of not taking responsibility, but also of weakness. When we blame, we give up our power to make changes because we believe we are victims of circumstances. This keeps us stuck in a cycle of frustration and helplessness, where personal growth stops and goals seem impossible to reach. On the other hand, taking responsibility for your own life is a strong step toward freedom and realizing your inner strength. Thanks for following us. Your support is what keeps us going as we continue to share Stoic philosophy knowledge and insights. Feel free to leave comments about your thoughts and personal experiences on this topic. We can't wait to hear them and share them with you. Stay tuned for the last lessons on Stoic philosophy on our channel. Fear and worry about the risks can sometimes make us refuse. We will talk about how Stoic philosophy can help us face risks with confidence and patience so that we can make good changes in our lives. Let's learn the next principle together and figure out how to use it on our journey. It's natural for people to want to blame others. It's easy to blame others when things go wrong, but doing so can hurt your own growth and your relationships. A very important part of growing up and being successful is learning to be accountable for what we do. Important points. Personal accountability. Help people understand that they are eventually in charge of their own decisions and actions. Putting the blame on others only takes your attention away from your own flaws and stops you from improving yourself. Understanding and care. Teach how important it is to understand and feel care for others when there is a disagreement. Instead of blaming, you should tell people to try to understand and speak clearly so that problems can be solved peacefully. Learning from mistakes. Stress how important it is to learn from your mistakes. Every loss is a chance to learn and think about yourself. People can find ways to improve and become more resilient by owning up to their mistakes. Building trust and respect. When you blame others, it hurts your interactions with them. To keep healthy and good relationships with other people, encourage people to take responsibility for their actions. Being honest and taking responsibility are important for building good relationships. Focus on solutions. Instead of blaming, try to figure out how to fix the problem. Instead of arguing about who is at fault, get people to work together to find answers and move on in a positive way. This method encourages collaboration and new ideas. Lead by example. If you are a teacher or a leader, take responsibility for your actions. Show others how to do it by owning up to your mistakes, taking responsibility and staying strong when things get tough. People will be inspired to act in the same way you do. It is common for people to blame others for their actions, but taking responsibility for our own actions shows that we are honest and have good character. Taking responsibility for our actions gives us the power to learn, grow, and connect with others in important ways. Let's work to make our communities more ownership and responsibility-based, where everyone works for growth and understanding instead of blaming others. Number 6. Stop avoiding risks. A lot of people get nervous and uncomfortable when they hear the word adventure, but Stoicism tells us to see risk not only as something we have to face, but also as a valuable chance to grow and improve ourselves. Something Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, lit our way with wise words. There is no favorable wind for the person who does not know where he wants to go. This shows how important it is to take risks carefully and use them to get closer to our goals. When risk is no longer our enemy, it becomes our daily companion, pushing us to do better. A powerful example of this is the story of Jack, a young business owner who is about to expand his company into a new market. He is terrified of the unknown and the possibility of failing, but he decides to face it anyway, believing that every challenge is a chance to learn and grow. As a result, he not only sees his company grow incredibly, but he also realizes that Stoicism tells us to remember that every time we face a risk, we have the chance to become more calm and independent. By seeing each challenge as a test of our strength and flexibility, we learn to stay strong even when things go wrong or things get rough. Avoiding risk not only stops us from growing, but it also keeps us stuck in a false sense of safety. Stoicism teaches us that by facing and handling risk wisely, we can get over our fears and open up new opportunities for growth and success. Keep in mind that sometimes the choice to go through hardship is the way to freedom and success. Taking risks and making the most of them if you're willing to do so and not be afraid of difficulties. Write something, "I'm ready for the hard things and risks that come after this video." It's normal for people to want to avoid risks because we don't want to fail, be embarrassed, or be unsure. We tend to stick to what is safe and easy for us. It's often when we step out of our comfort zones and take chances that we grow and achieve our goals. We'll talk about why avoiding risks can be bad and how taking them can help you grow as a person and in your career in this lesson. Knowing what will happen if you don't take risks. Talk about the idea of the comfort zone and how living in it can stop you from growing as a person and as a worker. Think about the bad things that can happen when you don't take risks, like missed chances, staying in the same place, and feeling sadness. Give some examples of people or groups that didn't take chance and paid for it. For example, Kodak's refusal to adopt digital photography. The good things about taking risks bring up the possible benefits of taking chances, such as new ideas, learning, and growth. Talk about how making smart decisions about risks can lead to more chances and success. Give examples of people who took risks and succeeded, like entrepreneurs who started companies that changed the world, or athletes who pushed themselves to the limit to become the best. How to get over your fear of failing. Talk about how people's fear of failing keeps them from taking risks. Give people ways to get over their fear of failing, like seeing it as a chance to learn and focused on the good things that could come from succeeding. Students should be encouraged to have a growth attitude, which means that they should see failure as a normal part of learning and not as a sign of how good they are. Getting better at managing risks. Teach your kids how to properly evaluate and handle risks by comparing the possible benefits to the possible drawbacks. Talk about ways to lower your risks, like doing a lot of study, getting help from mentors or experts, and making backup plans. Stress how important it is to be resilient and able to change in order to deal with losses or unexpected problems. Creating a culture of taking risks. Find out how businesses can create a culture that rewards and supports new ideas and taking risks. Talk about the part that leadership plays in making a company friendly to taking risks. Stress how diversity and inclusion can help people be more creative and willing to take risks. Even though it can be scary, taking risks is often the only way to find new possibilities and be successful. People and businesses can come up with new ideas, grow, and do well in a world that is always changing by being willing to take chances. Remember that sometimes you have to leave your comfort zone and take a leap of faith to reach your goals. Number 7. Stop neglecting personal development. Stoic philosophers like Epicurus, Marcus Aurelius, and others believed that the way to true happiness is to care for one's soul and develop one's spirit. They left us a body of work on how to conquer oneself through discipline, not only as a way to deal with problems, but also as a way to live a meaningful life. In today's world, one of the biggest problems is not a lack of opportunities, but a lack of personal growth. As the guiding light in the journey of life, Stoicism not only tells us how to live right, but also how to keep improving our souls. For example, Marcus Aurelius was an emperor who not only ran a huge empire, but also learned new things and worked on himself every day. He wrote in his book, Meditations, that our life is what we think it is. This shows how important daily self-examination and thought are for improving yourself. Seneca. Life is a great example of someone who was always trying to improve themselves. Seneca was not only a Stoic philosopher, but also a writer, politician, and playwright. He was always reading, writing, and having deep conversations to learn more. Slovenians thought that by working on ourselves, we could not only improve our lives, but also make the world a better place for everyone. People today should also learn from these lessons. Spend time reading books to learn something new, or even just to think about your life and goals. Any action that makes you better is an important step on the way to inner peace and wisdom in Stoicism. Remember that every day is a chance to become the best version of yourself. Never stop learning and exploring the world around you and yourself. Constant personal development is the key to finding wisdom, peace, and true freedom. We sometimes feel like an invisible wall is blocking our progress when we face change. But what would happen if we not only faced change, but also welcomed it? Change is a part of life, and Stoic philosophy teaches us that real strength comes from being able to adapt and accept it. Not all changes are easy or comfortable, but they all give us the chance to learn, grow, and become stronger. Number 8. Stop resisting change. One of the greatest Stoic philosophers, Seneca, said, "While we wait for life to pass, life passes." He not only had a deep message about savoring every moment, but he also showed us how to break free from both material and spiritual chains. In the whirlwind of life, the biggest challenge is not the constant changes, but our pointless resistance to them. This resistance not only wastes our time, but also means we miss many opportunities. Stoic philosophy gives us a way to look at the world where change is not only accepted, but welcomed as a valuable part of life. When we face change, we not only find our inner strength, but we also find endless opportunities for growth, adaptation, and maturity. Instead of staying put and falling behind, we are told to go on the path of personal development, broaden our horizons, and embrace new possibilities. Getting used to and accepting change is a path full of lessons and chances. When we learn to see each obstacle not as a problem, but as a way to get further, we start to understand how important it is to be patient, brave, and calm. Seneca not only teaches us how to live, but also how to face life, not by avoiding or resisting, but by welcoming every event with an open heart and a peaceful soul. So let's walk firmly on the path of change without fear or hesitation. Each step is not only a step forward, but also a reminder of the strength that lives inside each of us. The ability to adapt and overcome life is always changing, and it's in these changes that we find ourselves and the beauty of living. Help each other get better. How has this idea changed your life? Tell us below so we can all learn from each other. Number 9. Don't be afraid of failing. Imagine you are an explorer facing a range of rough, tall mountains. You know the road ahead won't be easy, and you know you'll slip and fall along the way. But each time you get back up, you learn something new about strength, patience, and persistence. On the way to becoming wise, every failure is not a step backward, but a new step forward. Facing and accepting our faith is not only a necessary part of life, but also a chance to grow stronger and smarter. Marcus Aurelius said, "What stands in the way of action becomes the way." This is a powerful reminder to not only accept failure, but also learn to find opportunities in it. Also, Seneca wrote, "There is no favorable wind for the sailor who doesn't know where to go." Failure forces us to rethink our goals and directions. It shows us that not all paths lead to the same place, and sometimes this change is the key to success. For example, Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before he finally found a way to make the light bulb work. He didn't see each failure as a mistake, but as a turning point. Edison thought of them as steps forward. He once said, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This way of looking at failure shows not only persistence, but also strong hope. Let's learn from failure by facing it and thinking about what went wrong. When we accept failure as a part of the learning and development process, we not only get through it, but we also get stronger and more independent. That's when failure stops being scary and becomes a solid stepping stone for future success. People say that time is the most valuable thing they have, but in the busyness of daily life, how many times have we missed out on those special moments because we put things off? Have you ever thought about what would happen if you stopped putting off your long-held goals and dreams? Let's look at how breaking the habit of putting things off can change your life, giving you freedom and the chance to do great things. Next, we'll look into the core of Stoic philosophy to learn more about the power of acting now and how to apply it to our own lives. To understand how important it is to get over your fear of failing and see it as a normal part of the learning process. Fear of failing is a normal feeling for people. In reality, though, it keeps us from trying new things, taking chances, and reaching our full potential. We will talk about why loss is something to be welcomed instead of feared in this lesson. Using failure as a chance to learn, you can get to success through failure, not the other way around. Every loss teaches us something useful that can help us get better. The famous words of Thomas Edison were, "I have not failed. I just considered 10,000 options that do not work." The light bulb was invented because he didn't give up. How to build resilience. When you fail, you become more resilient, which means you can get back up after a loss stronger than before. People who are more resilient are better able to deal with problems and get through tough times. Studies have shown that people who see failure as a chance to learn are more likely to keep going and achieve in the end. Getting over your fear of failing. People often fear failing because they don't want to be judged or embarrassed. Remember, though, that failing is a normal part of learning. We can be less afraid of failure and more willing to take risks if we see it as an important step on the way to growth. To develop a growth mindset. Having a growth mindset means you believe that you can improve your skills and intelligence through commitment and hard work. People who have a growth attitude see failure not as a sign of how good they are, but as a chance to learn and get better. Failure is not something to be afraid of. It's something to welcome and learn from. Changing how we think about failure and developing a growth attitude can help us reach our full potential and be more successful in life. Think about a mistake or setback you've had in the past. In 3 sentences, describe what you learned from it and how it has changed you. Talk about what you've thought with a classmate or someone else. Homework. Write down a goal or dream that you haven't pursued because you're afraid of failing. Even though there is a chance you might fail, write down one thing you can do today to move closer to your goal. You might want to think about how having a growth attitude can help you get over your fears and see failure as a way to get better. Number 10. Don't keep putting off your goals. Fear and doubt often make people put things off, which is one of the worst things that can happen to progress. This feeling keeps us up at night with what-ifs and what will happen ifs, which creates an imagined wall between us and the goals we want to reach. Stoicism, which means a strong fortress of the mind, not only tells us to face our fears, but also that they are steps on the way to success. When we realize that every challenge and obstacle is a chance to improve our patience, self-control, and determination, we start to understand how important it is to stop putting things off. We are told to see every day as a gift and a chance to get closer to our goals, but not by taking unnecessary risks, but by taking small, steady, and deliberate steps. Setting and following goals over and over again not only helps us get what we want, but it also helps us become more self-aware and brave, making the way for peace of mind and wisdom. PE. Seneca reminds us that we don't have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. This is a call to action right now, not tomorrow or when there's time. This valuable time will pass by if it isn't loved and used wisely in the pursuit of goals. Every step we take is not only an attempt to get better, but also a choice to fully live in each moment. This is an example of the strong spirit of never giving up and remaining determined. It's important to see getting rid of procrastination as both a personal task and a chance to live a meaningful life where every day is a step towards self-realization and inner peace. Stoic ideas are more than just lessons in books. When you live each day with a calm mind and an open heart, they become guides for you to help you find your way, today we looked at 10 habits that could keep you from finding happiness and wealth. Remember that change starts with you, so let us know what you think about this content. Have you used any of these 10 principles in your daily life yet? If so, please share your deepest thoughts in the comments. Also, if you found this video helpful, please like and share it to help us out. If you want to make sure you don't miss our next videos on Stoic philosophy, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Thank you for watching today's lesson. The next videos will be shown at the end of the lesson. Don't miss out on the journey of self-improvement, where we can learn and use valuable lessons from Stoicism to turn every challenge into a stepping stone to move forward in life. Thank you for your time today, and we'll see you in the next videos.